Alright, we're on the Juice Bike's RipCurrent. And I'm at, how many miles? 65. 65 miles. And going. And going. Alright. Hey, so I was on YouTube the other day, and it was pretty cool. There was a, okay, why is that not tight? There was a video on, excuse me, oh, come on. I'm trying to tighten this thing here. There we go. There's a video on counter steering, and it was actually talking about motorcycles, and they showed, actually, if you look it up, there's, the guy ended up surviving, but what was happening, he was on a, what it appeared to be like a ninja bike, and he was rounding a corner like this, rounding the corner, and all of a sudden he sees this big fire truck, emergency vehicle, and he's trying to steer away from it. And what they were explaining is that when you're going above, and I didn't even realize this until I tried it, even on this bike, it's true. But in some ways, it's like you really would have to think backwards. So I'm going to slow down. So here, like about 6 miles an hour, or when you're below 10, if I turn the steering wheel to the right or to the left, I'm going to turn left. If I go to the right, I go right. Right? That way, this way, and it works perfectly every time. So your brain is wired up thinking, well, that's just the way a bike works. The difference, though, is when you start going above 10 or higher, especially at a high-speed bike like this, I can get it up to 28 miles an hour. Now it's acting more like a moped or a motorcycle. And then what happens, and I'm not in a good place to do it, here we'll do it up, I can't do it up here. We'll do it on the straightaway coming up. But what happens is actually the opposite effect. What'll happen is it'll wobble a little bit, and then you go the other direction. It's not the direction you think. Are they ever going to finish that trail? Look at the lighting here. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is in 360, so if y'all don't realize it, look up there. Look how beautiful that is. If I were in a car, I would just be like, driving home, thinking about work. Not this way. Okay, now let's get our little sample demo going. Have a little runaway here. All right, so we're gonna go this way. So what happens is now I'm doing 20 miles an hour. If I turn the handlebar to the left, it ends up actually, it wobbles that way for a second, and then it just takes me the other direction. It's a counter steer. It kind of pulls me back this direction. Same is true on this way. If I go this way, it goes that way, right? It corrects, and then I start going the wrong direction. So what was happening is, oncoming traffic, he had that emergency vehicle on the other side, and he was like, so he naturally wanted to pull to his right to get out of the way, and the bike kept going more and more to the left. He ended up surviving because they actually had an emergency vehicle there, but pretty scary. And it's funny because I wasn't even thinking like that was even a thing. Excuse me. It wasn't even a thing, but in fact, it is. So here's an example. So here we're going straight. I'm going to turn it this way, and it wants to keep going that way. And again, I don't know if I would ever be in a situation where I would have made a mistake like that, because typically when I start going these speeds too, I'm leaning. I lean more left and right. Now if you find the video, I'll try to put a link to it in the description of this thing. It is quite, it's just interesting, right? I think and definitely this guy did that, right? Somehow in that moment of panic, he defaulted to a space in his mind where he thought, I need to get out of the way. I'm going to pull on my right handlebar and get away, steer to the right, and get out of the way of this truck so I don't get nailed. That's green-ish. Don't get me in trouble, guys. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's the great thing about YouTube. Like, suddenly these videos come up, and I think it's quite interesting stuff. So, check that out. I'm also going to do a video. I might have said this. I apologize if I'm repeating myself. I'm going to put the camera back here on the rack, and I'm going to film the seat while I go over bumps and stuff, and you're going to see the suspension. It is very nice. It's got a good feel to it. I do recommend it. It flexes a lot more than my cheap $20 one, but the $20 one does work. It's just not, it's not the same, right? And the $20 one is not adjustable either. So keep that in mind. What else? About that. Something on the... Oh, I haven't had a chance to go off-road. It was blazing hot over the weekend, and that's the only time I really have to do off-roading. So I definitely, beyond commuting with this guy, I'm going to do some off-road. And so that'll be next weekend. Hopefully it's decent, not too crazy hot. We'll get that going. It's a nice Jeep. So yeah, that's what I got. But I've been enjoying this. My favorite so far